Hi guys, Olive here. Here today to talk to you about some of my reading and channel goals for 2020. As always, we will start with the numerical Goodreads reading goal, and in 2020, I would really like to read 100 books. From what my reading stats look like right now, it seems like 2019 is going to be the very first year that I surpass 100 books. I attempted to do that back in 2018. It was my goal to read 100 books, but the year just kind of steamrolled me. So I ended up reducing it to 90 because I'm not about to stress myself out over some arbitrary number that I set for myself. I set it at 90 again in 2019 because it felt like an achievable, reachable goal based on my reading pace. And I've actually already met that goal by this point in the year, which is awesome. Granted, my reading pace has been a lot faster at the end of this year with Nonfiction November, and now this race till the end of the year. But I am really comfortable with the amount that I'm reading right now. So if I go over 100 in 2019, I feel like I'll be able to do that again in 2020. If something changes or the year ends up being crazier than I anticipate it being, then I can always go back in and change that. My second goal is something that you may have already heard me say if you watched the Nonfiction on Booktube tag that I created, but I would very much like the ratio of my reading to be at least 50-50 with fiction and nonfiction, or even 60-40 in favor of nonfiction. 2019 has been the strongest nonfiction reading year that I have ever had, and I think that has a lot to do with me finally accepting that I am predominantly a nonfiction reader. I have been letting myself lean into that desire to pick up predominantly nonfiction, and it has really been paying off. I do also love fiction. I'm not going to stop reading fiction. I don't want that to be the message that anyone takes away from this video. I'm just now living in the light of the truth that I'm mainly a nonfiction reader. And I think the reason why this reading year has been so successful for me is because it was such a strong year for nonfiction. I think I will continue to have better and better reading years if I let myself read as much nonfiction as I want to. Something I think is going to help with that ratio is that I've signed up to be a judge for the Booktube prize on the nonfiction end of things. I don't know if I'm going to be selected for all 4 rounds, but I did sign up for all 4 rounds. I'm counting this as a goal because it does involve work in terms of reading and video creation. I'm going to be reading all the books in that round and then making a video talking about my feelings about all of those books once the round is over. I also did want to mention my participation in the Booktube prize in a video because it is going to mean a few minor changes around here. Robert, who runs the prize, has a rule that he doesn't want judges talking publicly about their feelings about any of the books they're reading for that particular round until the round is over. He doesn't want the opinions of any one judge potentially influencing the other judges and the way that they rate their books. So the books that I'm reading for the Booktube prize will not be appearing on my Goodreads. I will not be talking about them in wrap-ups. You will not be hearing anything about them from me until the round is over. You'll still get to hear my opinions on all of those books, just not until a little bit later once the round is over. At that point, I will put them all on Goodreads. I'll be making that specialty video talking about my feelings about all the books and talking about how I ranked them. It's not going to be a drastic change, but it is somewhat different than the way I've been doing things for the past 5 years, so I thought it warranted mention. But fear not, you will definitely still be getting a lot of my bookish opinions on a regular basis, because it is another goal of mine to keep going with the written reviews that I've been doing and to do more individual video reviews here on this channel. A couple of years back, I resolved to do more individual book reviews here on this channel. I had really started to see the value in them. I appreciated the longevity that they have, how they're relevant for more than just a tiny window of time. Because as much as I like making the of-the-moment content here on Booktube, the wrap-ups, the TBRs, and to a certain extent the hauls, I would really like these videos that I make, these things that I pour hours, and I mean hours of my life into, to be relevant for a more substantial period of time. But as I started doing more and more of them, I started to see their value as more than just a longer period of relevance. I've discovered that I really love doing deep dives into books. I really like doing the mini reviews in my wrap-ups, but since I'm reading more and more, and I always try to keep those videos around 15 to 20 minutes, I'm noticing that I have less time to dedicate to each book. Now, sometimes that can make for a good exercise for me to be as concise as possible. Like, how can I take the bigger ideas of this book and condense it into as small of a space as possible? It's a really good exercise for yourself to be able to do that as a reviewer. Getting a lot of practice at whittling down a book's plot and my feelings on it down to their very essentials has made me very, very good at what I do here. But I also wanted to flex some reviewing muscle in the long form as well. So I'm definitely looking to keep on making those individual reviews use here on this channel. I don't know that I'm necessarily looking to make more than I do right now. I like to post a variety of different types of videos every single month, so I will probably be making between 1 and 3 reviews per month. That is assuming that there is at least one book per month that I have strong enough feelings about to dedicate an entire video to it. But that whole discussion leads me to my next goal, which is that I want to make more videos that are in-depth psychological analyses of literary characters. I would prefer that those characters be heroines from classic literature, and I would really like the videos to be in the essay style of the Mansfield Park and House of Mirth videos that I did. I really liked how those videos turned out, and I cannot explain to you how much fun I had putting them together. So I'd very much like to use those two as springboards to creating an entire new series of them here on this channel. And speaking of series, I also want to keep going with my What's the Story Wishbone series, where I take an episode of the 90s PBS Kids TV show Wishbone and compare it against the work of literature that they take on in said episode. Now listen, I am aware that that series is very niche. I understand it has more of a limited appeal. But I am choosing to keep on going with it because I think it's very valuable. First and foremost, it's inspiring me to read more of the classics, which is amazing. But also talking about those episodes here on YouTube, I have a very unique ability to be able to show you scenes from the show as I analyze how they took on this work of literature. I can compare it against the classic. This was a majorly important show for my generation, for turning people into readers, for making literature exciting. And I think it deserves a second look like this. I think that the series that I do is really unique. I have not seen anything else like it on Booktube. But one thing I would like to state at this juncture, and this is not a plea for more people to watch my Wishbone series. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I understand. I'm accepting of that. But I do hear a lot of viewers complaining that there isn't as much unique out-of-the-box type of content on Booktube. But then if a Booktuber does make something different, it's not supported. I make videos to be viewed, certainly. I would feel a lot less motivated if no one was watching these videos. But at the end of the day, I am still the creator. I still get to decide what goes up here. I am a creator here on YouTube, and I want the content here to be representative of what I feel is important and valuable, and low view counts and dislike counts are never going to talk me out of making the things that I'm passionate about. But moving on, I have 2 more goals for 2020, and one of those is that I would like to continue growing Nonfiction November. Every year, I try to do a little bit more with Nonfiction November. I try to test different ideas. I try to bring new elements into it and see what people respond to. I do have some ideas for 2020, which will be year 6 for us. I cannot believe that. I don't want to give any specifics about those ideas or make any promises because we just finished up Nonfiction November 2019. It is far too early for that. But I do want to say that I try to learn from every single year of the event and try to pull what worked best forward into the new year. So I'm hoping that Nonfiction November 2020 will be our best year yet. And then the last goal that I have for 2020 is more of a personal goal, but I do anticipate it'll have some spillover into the things that I do for this channel. And that is that I would like to get back into learning Russian. I have missed studying Russian so much. I love the language with all my heart, but I just haven't had time to put into studying Russian because my reading and this channel and all of my other ambitions just swallow up all of my free time. Also, over the past few years, I've not had any place to use my Russian, so there's been no external motivating factor for that. And so as a result, it's just gone terribly rusty. But recently, I've been using Russian a little bit for my job, which is an extremely long story, which I'll just have to tell you in a life update video next month. But the bottom line is that I now have a reason to start picking up Russian again. So I want to seize upon that motivating factor and get back into it. I mentioned this in a goals video because I very much think you're going to see some of that process spilling over into this channel, even just unintentionally in the books that I'm picking up. I also wanted to take this opportunity to gauge interest in maybe language learning videos or videos specifically about Russian, maybe some more pronunciation videos. I've also been meaning to make a video talking about my study abroad experience in St. Petersburg for exactly forever. So let me know if you like the sounds of any of these videos or if you have any video requests. I don't mean to make it sound like I'm contradicting my earlier message because yes, I am the creator. I am the one who ultimately determines what goes up on this channel. But I really want to be clear that I am always interested in and receptive to respectful feedback from people who are genuinely interested in engaging with me as a person, because I cannot stress this enough. I am just a person. I'm not just a creation of the internet. On that note, this human person is going to sign off for now, but thank you very much for listening to all of my goals. If you have any comments or questions about anything you've seen in this video or about anything in general, you can please feel free to put that in the comment section below. But if you'd prefer to engage with me somewhere other than YouTube, I am on a variety of different places on social media, and the links to all of those profiles are linked in the description box below. Thank you again for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.